Hello guys, welcome to the next video of this particular series of learning the Linux. So in this video in the last video we discussed the copy command. So we supposed to discuss MV command also, but due to the long video, let's take this MV command in this video. So we're gonna discuss MV command and their options in this particular video. So let me quickly revise the syntax of MV command, how we can use MV command. So MV, then options we can check with the manual or like -h or -f help flag, then source and destination. So MV command, it's like doing a control X and control V together. Control X from the source destination and control V at the destination. Source path or control V at the destination path. But using some tips or tricks, I can say we can leverage some, or we can use MV command for other use cases also. Like let me tell you the use cases first, and we're gonna see them in practical. So first use case is like renaming a directory. So if you want to rename a directory or a folder, so there we can use MV command. If you want to rename a file, then we can use MV command. Third is obviously moving a file, or in the simple word we can say cut and paste a file. So this is the things we can do with MV command. So let's discuss the things one by one. So if I show you the recursive way, in the current directory we have two directories, subdirectories, copy and dir1, and two file linux.txt and second.txt. But in both the directories copy and dir1 there is nothing. So from here you can see. Now what I want is, I want to rename my this copy directory with a name called dir2. So how I can do is mv source means which folder we want to rename. Now destination, I want to rename it with name called dir2. Enter. If you check now ls, see that copy is renamed with the name called dir2. That's we want. Now the another use case of mv command is to move a file, or like cut a file from at specific location and want to paste at somewhere. So what I want to do is I want to move this file linux.txt in the directory 1. Before that, if I want to show the recursive way, so there is nothing in the directory 1 as you can see from here, and not anything at directory 2. So I want to copy the linux.txt at directory 1. Enter. And I want to copy the second.txt at directory 2. Now if I check ls-r, see linux.txt is copied in directory 1 and second.txt is copied in directory 2. Now let's say you created, or like let me go to the, or let me move that file that is inside directory 2 to directory 1. I want to copy the second.txt from directory 2 to directory 1. So how will I copy is mv in directory 2. We can use wildcard here also, or we can give the name of file also. Anything is fine. Wildcard, as I discussed in the last video, wildcard means the wildcard star means everything. Now everything inside dir2 folder is permanently moved, or is permanently, we can say in that simple term, can be cut from directory 2 and it should be pasted into directory 1. Now if I do ls-r, see directory 2 now got empty. Before there is file second.txt, but now linux.txt and second.txt is both in directory 1. Now let's say I want to move this both the files in directory 2. So there are two ways. What are the two ways? Let me explain you one by one. So let me go to the directory 1 first to explain you. There are two files. So as in the mkdir command also we saw that we can pass multiple folder names. Multiple folder names we can pass and that folders are created. Same as in the mv we can pass multiple files second.txt. Now where I want to copy this both the files, I want to copy both the files in root. We know there is folder called Linux. In Linux there is folder called directory 2. Now both the files are copied. How I can verify? I am at this directory root Linux, and in this directory there is directory 1 and directory 2. From here, if I check the recursive way, before both the files are in directory 1, but now both the files are in directory 2. But what I want is I want to rename this both the files. I want to rename this file only. I want to rename this only one file, linux.txt to first.txt. So that is another use case of MV. So how we can do is MV. Now give me the source file name or the source path name. Which file you want to rename. So you need to obviously give a path. So path, if you want to give the relative path, you can do ls. And you know in the directory one, sorry, in the directory two, both the files are there. So MV directory two, there is one file called linux.txt. Now you want to rename this file with the name called first.txt. Enter. If I do ls, see first.txt. Now what happened here is, I don't want to confuse you. Let me show it to you. So in directory 2 there is two files, linux.txt and second.txt. So I want to copy or like rename this file. So I use the command called mb directory 2 and linux.txt. I given this relative path because I'm giving that directly the name of directory and then the file name. And then I given first.txt, that from which name or at what name I want to rename this particular linux.txt file. So I want to rename it first.txt. So what happened in the background is mv command always move a file, or I will say it will cut a file and paste a file. So what mv command does is it taken this file linux.txt from directory 2. That means if you think of in like Windows term, it done control X. It cut the file linux.txt from directory 2, and while copying, that means while doing control V in Windows terms, so it copied to the current directory because we don't specified any path, and while copying only it renamed the file also. Now if you do control X in the Windows, that file will be removed from the source destination, and that should be pasted in destination path. Now here the destination path we don't given anything, so it mv command, if you don't give any path at this place, at the second place, means at the destination place or at the destination path, if we don't give any path, if you only give the file name that we are giving here first.txt, it will paste that file first.txt, or I can say that linux.txt, it renamed first to first.txt and then copied to the current directory. If you don't give any directory or folder, if you don't specify any directory or folder in the mv command, I can say. Now if you check that linux.txt will be removed, from where it will be removed, before that it's in the directory 2, as you can see. But if I again do ls-r, see second.txt only is here, and linux.txt is removed because we used mv command. So it like cuts that linux.txt file from this directory 2, and while copying into the current directory, because we don't specify any path, while copying it renamed that file and copied. Now let me move first.txt to the directory 2 again to show you the another demo. See, now both the files are in directory 2, not no files is there in the current directory. See, now what I want is I want to remove or like rename these both the files first.txt and second.txt, but I don't want to move these files to the current directory from directory 2. I want this both the files will be renamed and kept at this directory 2 only. Those files will not be moved anywhere. Those files will be kept at directory 2 only. Just I want to rename the files. So how I will do is You need to use mv command. If you want to rename and you want to keep that file in directory 2 only, then you need to specify a whole path. Now what does the whole path means? You need to give directory 2. Which file? First.txt. Now you want to rename this file to what name you want to rename? I want to rename it its name only first. I want to remove this .txt. Or let's say I want to rename it with Linux dot sorry txt. So I want to rename this first.txt that is in the directory 2 folder with this name. I want to rename with this name linux.txt. But if I don't specify any path at the second column or at the second place, so MV will follow the structure like as I told you, MV then options. So we are not passing any options because we don't need. Then the source file I can say, or you can say source path also, source path of any folder or file you want to move. Then destination path you can say where you want to move the file. So this is the structure of MV. MV options, we are not giving any options, source file and destination path. So in this case, the source path is this. What is the source path? dir2 first.txt. So this is a source path. That means from the dir2 directory, there is one file first.txt. I want to move this file. Okay, I want to move this file. But there is a trick in the mv command. That's why we are able to rename the file. There is no direct way to rename a file, I can say. So if you want to rename a file, you need to follow some steps you can think of. Like in Windows, if I talk you in Windows term, so you need to do Control-X. You already cut that file. From where? From the source path. Then you need to move to directory where you want to paste that file. Before moving, you need to rename that file. Then only if you paste that file, it will be shown by the name that is renamed. So that is the normal step in the window. But in Linux, if you want to do something like if you want to do Control-X, then for that we have a command called mv. That means move. You need to give source path as we are also doing in the Windows. From where we want to do Control-X? From the source path. So we are giving source path. Now, before giving a destination path, I want to rename that file. So in Linux, mv command will automatically rename the file if we change the name of file from the source path. What I mean by is if you give the destination path here, destination path means where you want to paste the file. So in MV, you can think of if the file name is at source path is a.txt. This is the file name at this particular source path. If you give some different destination path, that is not equals to source path, only you give the path. Only, please keep focusing on my words. Only the path you are giving. You are not giving any name. You are not specifying any name of file. So this a.txt is copied as it is with the same name a.txt at that particular path. So let me show you this first demo. So I am not changing any name. I am just giving first.txt. Even though if I don't give this name, it's fine. Let me show you. In ls there is no file. But if I run this mvdir2 first.txt and if I don't give any name here at the destination place, then it will take the destination path as the path of current folder. And if I don't specify any name, it will copy the file or it will move the file with the same name. See, sorry, what it's saying is missing destination file operand. Okay, so you need to give dot. Now in the last video I already told you dot means the current directory. So you are giving the destination path as dot. Dot means the current directory, and you are not specifying any name. You are just giving the destination path. So at this current folder, it will move the file from dir2 first.txt to the current folder with the same name. See, first.txt is here. Now let me move this first.txt again to the directory 2 to show you some demo ls. Yeah. Let me create some directory called a/b. Sorry, ls. Now if you go inside a, see, b is here, and in b there is no content. See, no content. Now what I told you is, let me go to the paint screen again. If the source path, you can say, is not equal to destination path, and you are specifying some different destination path, keep focusing on my word, guys. You are only specifying destination path. You are not giving file name. You are not giving file name. Again, I am repeating, you are not giving any file name. You are only giving destination path. Then what mv command will do is, it will take the file from where it will take, from the source path it will take, and it will move that file with the same name, where it will move, or where it will cut the file with the same name at destination path, if you don't specify any name. So let me show you this demo. If I do ls-r, just focus on here in this block. In which block? In the ab. So in the b directory there is now nothing. Now if I want to move second.txt, where I want to move, in the a, in b I want to move. Now if I again do recursively ls, see guys the difference. In the b directory now second.txt is here. Before that there is nothing, no file is there. Got it? So if you don't specify a file name, you only specify the destination path, it will copy that file, or that cut that file and paste that file to the destination path with the same name. Now the interesting thing come up, the second demo. You want to cut your file from where you want to cut? From the source path, obviously. You want to paste your file where you want to paste? At the destination path. But in between somewhere here you want to rename your file also. Now if you do this thing with the Windows, what you will do? Just I'm telling you, you will go to the directory or folder that is a source folder where file is present, correct? You will do this thing. At this directory you will use right click of your mouse and you will select an option called rename. You will rename that file. Third thing you will do is, you will go to that folder. Which folder or which directory? Destination directory, where you want to paste the file. Then at that folder you will do Ctrl+V. Now same thing if I want to do with the Linux mv command, that mv source path destination path. So there is a bit trick in this, only a trick is there, only a tweak is there. So source path you are giving path to the file that you want to do cut, or Ctrl-X. Now destination path you are giving path where you want to paste the file. But what I told you just before it now is, if you don't specify a file name, it will paste the file with same name. But if you want to rename in the Linux, so there is no middle option, or there is no right click of mouse that you want to rename. So what you need to do is, with the destination path, you need to specify a file name also. File name that you want to be renamed. The current file is renamed. If I do ls-r, so if you see in the sorry guys, in the b directory only second.txt is there. What I want is, from the directory to first.txt will be moved to this directory with a name called third.txt. How will you do? So I am giving this source path, okay, And now you want to give the destination path. What is the destination path? This is the destination path. If you only give this, guys, so in this you are not specifying any file name, so it will copy this first.txt as it is with the same name in this directory AB. But if you specify the file name, that is third.txt, now it will move this first.txt file. It will take this first.txt file, it will do Control-X internally, it will cut that file, and while pasting, before pasting, it will internally do right clicking the mouse, select the option rename, and it will rename a file first.txt with the name called third.txt, and then it will be paste that file in a/b. Just focus here in this thing. As soon as I do enter, and if I do ls-r, see guys, in directory 2 there is nothing before that, there is first.txt, so that first.txt is moved with a name called third.txt. So that's what I want to show with the mv command. If you want to explore the more options, you can take the help of the Google. You can search like mv cheat sheet of Linux, or how to copy or how to rename a directory, how to rename a file, how to move the files into a directory, how to move all the files in a directory. You can use wildcards, you can take the help of browser, you can take help of Google, or you can take help of man command. So there are many options that are similar. So mv and cp, there are many things similar in mv and cp command only. So cp will copy and mv will move. Only major difference is two files are created here. One at source path, that file will be kept as it is, and one file, the copy of file is created at destination path. In move, that file from the source path will be moved permanently to destination path. And with using some tweaks and tricks, you can rename the files and the directories. But most of the options are same, like -v, the option is same, -f option is same, -r recursively. If you want to do something, that option is same here. So that's what I want to discuss with you. If you have any doubts, feel free to put your doubts in the comment box or reach out to me over the LinkedIn. If you like the video, please keep on subscribing the channel, keep on liking the videos. Let's meet in the next video with some new content, some amazing content. Till then, thank you.